All right, so a bit of a segue now. It's all been good news. I mean, what's the biggest sort of challenge or obstacle which Untapped has faced so far, and how do you?
Yeah. So it's a common question that people ask, and people often will say, well, is it fundraising or is it deploying capital? And my answer is neither. I can go out and raise a big check, big lump of money, but then deploying that right away is challenging. And if I don't deploy it right away, I have to sit on it. I can go and find $100 million of deals, but then I won't have the money to do to service them, and then I lose all those deals. The challenge really is growing both sides at the same time. Having just enough money to deploy to meet our demand, and vice versa. And so this is where I'm very much looking at the crypto world as a perhaps solution to that, in the sense that there's more liquidity and faster liquidity in the crypto world than in the conventional worlds.
For retail investors, it's always a huge challenge to be able to invest in the same kinds of opportunities. I mean, we're talking about expanding financial access here, but there's also the other side of that coin, that a lot of people can't invest in products like this. I mean, is crypto for you also a way to maybe like access that market in a way which wasn't previously possible? And certainly
yes, but we do have to be careful, right? I mean, I think the retail investment rules are there for a reason. And, look, there's nothing about US SEC compliance regulations that say you can't use crypto. Of course you can use crypto. You just have to do everything that you're supposed to do, right? You have to register a security. You have to, if you want to work under Reg D, you have to ensure that you do your KYC and that investor is an accredited investor. You can do those things and still use crypto. Where I think there might be some interesting opportunities is that in the jurisdictions where retail investing is allowed through crypto compliantly, that we do that in those jurisdictions through crypto, because it is a more nimble and a more, I think, appropriate investment instrument for what we're doing. Because ultimately, I mean, I could argue that what we're doing is the original vision of decentralized finance, right? Changing who gets to invest and where the money goes. And we're channeling capital towards asset types that otherwise would never get financed, because we're using the data to create these transparent contracts to link investors and investees. That is the ultimate goal, I think. Or not, I mean, some people would say to buy a yacht, but for many, it's the ultimate goal of DeFi and Web3. It is to change who invests, how they invest, and where the money goes. And I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's even an opportunity in there for, say, currently you own the assets, but it's still essentially a quite heavily intermediated process. I mean, if we're talking about Internet of Things and such, essentially these assets could be directly programmed with contracts which pay out investors directly. Therefore, they're not even relying on Untapped as the facilitator.
That is our eventual goal. Look, I'm one way we could have done this was to build a crypto platform and try to do that right away. We decided not to do that because we can do this through a conventional route, through fiat, and still be very effective. And ultimately, the technology platform is important. But what is, I think, equally important is this vetted base of operating partners, vetted stack of assets that are producing value. And we got to create that first. So we decided let's put that together first. Let's build that to a certain level of scale that is significant and interesting. And then let's layer in the technology on top to make it more efficient.
Yeah, and to be honest, I completely agree in that. As much as it's a bit of a corny phrase in this space, we're still very early. The infrastructure isn't really, I don't think the infrastructure is really there to efficiently interface with the real world. All the potential is there, but realistically, until governments start really getting to grips with the issue and things get standardized, things just become easier as a way of doing business, that's when opportunities like this will truly unlock. And we're still we're trying to push it that way, but we're not there yet at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really early, and you know, I look at this, and it reminds me of the web 1.0 in 1995. You know, we're still taking this new medium and applying it to the old world. You know, newspapers in 1995 were still just putting their newspapers on the internet. What they don't even realize what's possible with the interactive features until a Craigslist comes along, or or a medium comes along and disrupts how you do publishing, right? So I think there is a bit of that, but what I also see is there's a lot of noise that's coming along with it. When you think of crypto, you think, oh yeah, billionaires, Bitcoin millionaires or billionaires with yachts in Puerto Rico. Yeah, there's that, and people are speculating on crypto and making money on it or losing money on it in some cases. But
Yes.
I think the real value of DeFi, of Web3, will start to come into focus when we start connecting decentralized finance or open finance with real world assets that are creating real value. Unless we want to live, breathe, and do everything in the metaverse, we have to connect. That's where the real value is when we connect that OpenFi, DeFi, whatever way you want to call it, to real world economic activity, which is what we would like to do for emerging markets.
Yeah, I mean, that is the goal. That's the dream. What are your, I mean, we touched on it briefly, I guess, but what are your sort of imminent plans for the next 1 to 2 years? I mean, what does it look like?
Well, it's to really continue to grow our asset base and our network of vetted operating partners in the countries that we know well. So to do that in Africa, you know, carefully examine other markets as well. But there's a lot of growth left in Africa, so we don't have to go anywhere for a little while, to be honest. And really establish a solid set of solid capital deployment runway that can generate really strong returns for investors. At the same time, to start exploring these new ways of raising the capital. We want to be able to work with great partners like Gluwa and offer crypto investors a way to invest in these assets. And so we really are looking to just to expand and consolidate the different sources of capital, so that on the other side, our operating partners, because we've established this long, stable runway of capital deployment, they can leverage all the work that we're doing centrally to gather up this capital in a way that's on demand and efficient for them. So ultimately, though, we really want to work side by side with companies like Gluwa and get a clear understanding of what DeFi and OpenFi can do for real world assets. And say, look, this is, sure, you can go and stake your money and on something very speculative, on whatever, but why don't you earn maybe just as much, or at least a lot, and stake it on something that will actually feed 1,000 families. Stake it on creating value in a place where people want to work, people want to earn money, and all they need is a little bit of that capital given to them in the right way so they can go out and earn that money. Perfect. And I believe that, I hope that will resonate with many people in the OpenFi, DeFi, Web3 space.
Definitely. I think that's the future.